Blood and Vengeance, a Redemption Gulch Saga. Chapter 1, The Return of the Gunslinger. The sun beat down on the parched earth of Redemption Gulch, baking the dust into a fine powder that clung to every boot and stirrup. A lone rider, silhouette stark against the relentless sky, approached from the east, his horse kicking up a cloud that trailed behind him like a shroud. This was John Bloodstained Carver, back from the wilderness, his heart a tombstone etched with the names of his murdered wife and son. He'd come for a reckoning, his eyes burning with a cold fire that mirrored the relentless sun. News of Carver's return spread through the town like wildfire. Whispers of his bloody past and deadly skills filled the saloon, where a beautiful widow, Elizabeth "Blood Rose" Walker, nursed a drink and her thirst for revenge. Her husband had been another victim of the Black Serpents, the gang that had plunged Redemption Gulch into a reign of terror. Sheriff Benjamin "Bama" Hayes, a man as sturdy as the oak tree that shaded the jailhouse, watched Carver ride in. He knew the storm this gunslinger brought, the promise of violence that crackled in the air like a rattlesnake's warning. Chapter 2, An Uneasy Alliance. Carver's path crossed with Elizabeth's in the dusty street. Their shared grief and the burning desire for justice sparked an understanding, a connection forged in the crucible of loss. They found an unlikely ally in Sheriff Hayes, a man burdened by the responsibility of keeping the peace in a town teetering on the edge of chaos. Their pursuit of the Black Serpents led them to the enigmatic gunsmith, Isaiah, a man haunted by his demons, and to the captivating saloon girl, Lily, whose alluring smile hid secrets as deep as the mine shafts that scarred the surrounding hills. They also crossed paths with the grizzled outlaw, Jed, whose loyalties shifted like the desert sands. Chapter 3, The Reckoning. Each step closer to the Black Serpent's lair was marked by gunfire and bloodshed. The trio faced ambushes, shootouts, and betrayals that tested their courage and their commitment to their cause. Carver, fueled by vengeance, walked a razor's edge between justice and cold-blooded retribution. Sheriff Hayes wrestled with the moral complexities of his duty, his heart torn between upholding the law and aiding those seeking righteous revenge. Elizabeth discovered that the path to vengeance was paved with sacrifices, her quest for justice threatening to consume her soul. Chapter 4, Showdown at Redemption Gulch. The final confrontation with the Black Serpents exploded in a hail of bullets and a whirlwind of dust. The air crackled with tension as Carver faced the gang's ruthless leader, a man whose heart was as black as his namesake. Sheriff Hayes found himself caught in the crossfire, forced to make a choice that would determine the fate of Redemption Gulch and his redemption. Elizabeth, her spirit hardened by the violence she had witnessed, fought alongside Carver, her thirst for vengeance finally quenched in the blood-soaked sand. Epilogue, The Price of Redemption. As the dust settled and the smoke cleared, the survivors stood amidst the wreckage, their spirits scarred but unbroken. Carver, his quest for revenge complete, found a glimmer of peace in the justice he had delivered. Sheriff Hayes, having made the difficult choices required of a man in his position, emerged with his honor intact. Elizabeth, forever marked by the blood she had spilled, discovered a newfound strength in the ashes of her grief. Redemption Gulch, once a town on the brink of destruction, had been reborn in the crucible of violence. The Black Serpents were no more, their reign of terror ended. But the price of redemption had been high, paid in blood, sweat, and the sacrifices of those who dared to stand against the darkness. The echoes of gunfire faded into the desert wind, leaving behind a town forever changed, and a legend etched in the annals of the Wild West. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the bullet-ridden landscape, a sense of calm settled over the ravaged town. The townsfolk emerged from their hiding places, their eyes filled with a mixture of awe and relief. They had witnessed a battle that would be whispered about for generations to come, a testament to the courage and resilience of those who had fought for their freedom. John Carver, his face etched with the weariness of a man who had stared death in the eye countless times, holstered his gun and turned away from the scene of carnage. His heart, once consumed by vengeance, now felt a weight lifted. The ghosts of his wife and son, though still a constant presence in his memory, no longer haunted him with such ferocity. He had found a measure of peace in the justice he had delivered, a closure that allowed him to move forward, however tentatively. Sheriff Hayes, his clothes stained with blood and dust, surveyed the destruction with a heavy heart. He had witnessed the worst of humanity, the darkness that lurked beneath the surface, but he had also seen the best. The bravery of Carver, the unwavering resolve of Elizabeth, the resilience of the townsfolk, they had all reminded him why he wore the badge. Redemption Gulch might be scarred, but it was not broken. It would rebuild, stronger than before, a testament to the enduring spirit of the West. Elizabeth, her once vibrant dress now tattered and stained, stood amidst the wreckage, her eyes filled with a mix of sadness and resolve. She had tasted vengeance, and while it had brought a sense of closure, it had also left a bitter taste in her mouth. The cost of justice had been high, and she would forever carry the weight of her actions. But she would not let it break her. She would find a way to heal, to rebuild her life, and to honor the memory of her husband by living a life filled with purpose.